Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Esoteric Ebb. Last time we left off, I believe we just needed to take a nap, and that is exactly what we're going to do. Lie down, take a long rest. We got to see the drug shop and everything else. I might be going just back into the Undercity tomorrow. You lay down on your bedroll, finding sleep difficult. As you stir, you think about your quest, the Star Witness, the man in yellow. Frank, son of Frank. Might just be a dead end, though you've got a distinct feeling that he's lurking somewhere below. But you still haven't even entered the tea shop? It's probably time to do that tomorrow, unless you want to be contrarian. I mean, I gotta find out a way to get in. Which is fine. You're allowed to be contrarian, I'm just saying. Yeah, I know, but I don't want to work with Dara. It's the mystery of the tea shop campaign, not the I'm gonna dungeon crawl all day campaign. Thanks for yelling at me, the game dev. Anyway, I think it was Chris. As your mind wanders, you realize you still have not entered the tea shop, your main quest here on Tolstad. Yeah, I know. You focused on a lot of other things, so it's understandable, but perhaps now it's time. And poor Drummer, trying to ship himself off into the unknown. Yeah, I mean, I found Drummer, that's a big deal. Smart of you to keep him around. You'll probably get a chance to talk with him again before the election. There's also the Hag, someone holding a meeting in the tea shop right before the explosion. Highly suspicious. Yeah. So many loose threads, but don't worry, you've got time. It's time to delve deeper, past the below, among its many secrets. Some path has to go deeper. I do like that the game is portrayed as just, before you know, 8 hours have passed, you successfully complete your long rest. I do like how the game is portrayed as just like the game, this is the game developer's just campaign. Like that's our DM, and we have our campaign going right now. It's fun to think about, especially since I am interested in D&D. It's just difficult to actually start. Because you know, need a group and preferably at least someone that knows about it. I know bits and pieces, but... Another day full of trouble. The end is near. It's time to open your heart. The people of Tolstad cry out for you. If you want to finish this today, then it's time to put on the rough gloves. Which means yelling in people's faces, or something like that. I'm already on day 3, feel stressed. Time moves fast when you're productive. The election looms. So much to do today. How are you ever gonna find the time? Start your day. Yeah, we're gonna have to optimize a little bit. I've kind of just been running around examining everything, but you don't have anything new to say, right? Get to know her better, let's try. It is time. Become the man you were meant to be. Speak with the angel. About religion. That is a daunting challenge. Coward! Okay, I'm sorry. One second. Let me, boom. Let me, boom. And, the tower key. So that puts me to 21, so I get plus 5, which makes my odds a little bit better. I could bless myself. I'll bless. It's just a first level spell slot. That should be fine. Hello. It is time. Alright, challenging. But we could do it. I did get a success on the Behold. And I get plus 5, so... 22, oh my god. Whew. Oh my god. Thank you, Lady Fair. This woman served Earth. Why? Woman of her caliber, a great celestial of the West. She must be bound by some oath. Of course, an oath to serve the city even beyond his death. She is a sister to the cause. Ask her. Ask her why she is here. Raise your head. The angel's many eyes focus on you as you open your mouth. Why do you remain here, serving a city of men? She stops her work, the floating papers begin to move out of the way, and the angel descends ever so slightly. It is... She grits teeth and clenches fists. First time you've seen her perform any kind of physical exertion. Tu miasto gadzi rosum scasezi, I think. The city has lost its head. A city of fools. Your legs shake. You stand before a goddess. Stand your ground! Face her! I'm not lowering my head. Celestial faces you. If we're all so damn stupid, then why do you stay here? I don't think it's lost. I don't think it's lost. The city is not yours. Norvik is stronger than you think. You speak truth. The city is lost. If we're all so damn stupid, then why do you stay here? City of Fools. Norvik is stronger than you think. Like, this to me is like a hopeful response. Like, yeah, things are currently really, really bad, but I believe all of us have the strength to pull through, kind of thing. But I don't want it to come off as like a nationalist thing. I wish there was an answer that's like, Norvik isn't stronger than you think, but like the people here are, and we can get through this. I mean, this, like, that's the thing. It's with the nationalists leading it is, like, pretty rough right now. But, Norvik is stronger than you think. Her normally stone-faced expression is still there, but with the swirling mass of esoteric force where her eyes are supposed to be. Her telepathic voice rattles louder in your mind. A crackling boom. I am not a slave to this city. Swirling sensation, the eye of a storm. Feel as though the world is vibrating around you. The angel's halo slows. She is calmer now, as if releasing that angry remark was exactly what she had been waiting to do. But that is not an answer to your question. It's not an easy question to answer. She lifts her head and the many eyes follow. Why do I remain here? She asks herself, yet in your mind as well. A tragedy of meaning. The darkness within her skull retracts as she waves her hand. Ask if you are so adamant. Where do you come from? I was crafted from molten blood, upon the slain corpse of the titan Willocristy? I guess that would be it. Or Willocristy? I think Willocristy sounds better. My sister spawned from the flood on the slope at the closing. I am no Anticipalian. My crafting was made here, on this esoteric coast, right as it all turned hellwards. It was force I learned so soon after my first light. You're an interesting character. This is why I want to know more about you. She lapses into more dated language when she recalls her birth. This is the life of an essential. Or a celestial. That is where I come from. The eternal battle for the holy mountain. So you're kind of a veteran? Huh. A short bark of a laugh in your mind. She thinks you are being funny. Colorful storm dances within the hole in her skull. Those before me, they were the ones who actually arrived to this plane. They had not even a concept of time. Many mortals say my presence is alien. Older celestials are alien to me. How did you meet Earth? She has not answered for quite some time. Ominous. At sea. I moved with a Yimian explorer at the time. On her airship. Airship? Like the Arcanist kind? Yes. It was a slow and dangerous contraption. You were not designed for flight. Yes, you were designed for far more. I was an official gold dispatch. My job was to watch the Yumians' movements and report my findings, while acting as an official witness. After only a year of travel, the ship went down in the ocean. They accidentally flew into a frozen pocket. Oh. I stayed near to watch the disaster, as was my duty to report. She's quiet for a beat. 20 crew members died in the impact, and the other 12 gathered on the wreck. They called out to me, bleeding as they froze to death. I did not have authority to interfere, as was the Golden Horde's foreign affair edicts at the time. Voice does not change in tone at all, but you can feel the pain as she tells you this. That's the sign of like some good voice work and stuff, where they can still give the tone without having to like no tone changed, but you can still feel their emotion in it. VA work is such an interesting craft. She obeyed. She followed orders. That is good. Horrible. Once the voices were silent, I left the blizzard behind, moving inland. You can just fly out in the ocean? It was not easy. The storm raged. Before making it out of the pocket, I was struck by lightning. Lightning? Yes. And you lived? Her many eyes land upon her right arm, held out opposite the floating shards on her left. That is when my wing broke. I fell into the depths. Even an angel cannot withstand nature's fury. Oh my god, I just realized you're a one-winged angel. That should have ended me, yet the strings aligned. A fleet of humans were traveling across the rough Ascani waters. You ran into the chosen people? I'm just gonna say Earth. The human god saved me. That is how I met him. I did not join him in his struggle with the low creatures of Ziske Zime, your Ascani. Yet in time, I served. Interesting, okay. What was Earth like? You know, you have your tales. I mean, tales can give me hints at what Earth was actually like, but it's not the same as having a primary source right in front of you. I know the stories. I want to know what you thought of him. You see many, many eyes gaze into yours. He was meek, kind, reluctant. It was his weakness and his strength. Interesting. Interesting. This is like the complete polar opposite of the idea that like strength and a lot of like nationalists and like very fervent Earth followers have been told. Just straight up the opposite. But that's a like, when thinking about warriors, that kind of person is the stronger kind of warrior. A good warrior isn't the person that's brave all of the time and is doing whatever needs to be done, and they just believe they're invincible and everything. It's like, no, the really good warriors are the ones that are reluctant, that do worry about the consequences of their actions, that do show weakness. One of my favorite things from a lot of media that I've watched is the normalization of having like really cool badass warriors on a battlefield, but they're like trembling and shaking. And it's like, and you know, there will be like a newbie that will be like, wait, why are you shaking? And it's like, you never stop shaking. Like, you never stop being nervous just because you've done this a few times. And if anything, you're more nervous because you're like, oh shit, I have to go through that again, and I only barely made it the first time, you know? Or however many times you've been through it. Your god was a complicated man, cleric. He did terrible things. He performed great deeds. He was just a man. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that they need to realize. They are elevating this person up more than he is. Just a man, huh? He built his city in his own image, for good and ill. Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that they're saying, like, yeah, this particular things about Earth doesn't line up, he still did awful, awful things. And it says he performed great deeds, but it's like, yeah, great deeds for who? I mean, he built the city, he elevated the humans and things, but that was at the detriment of, like, the goblins and everything else, so... How long have you been here? I served him for a minuscule time, approximately 49 years. So you fought trolls with Earth? No, I joined after the initial conquest. We view time in different lights, cleric. Remember that. Yeah, I mean that's why I wasn't going to say the other options. Why Darrow? I am a senior member of the Earth Guard. The Patriarch set my assignment. I am following orders. She follows orders, yet she rages inside. This is her struggle. I mean, it's got to be rough to have actually met Earth, the man, and seeing people many, many years later just completely perverting his ideals and the image that they have of him, and you just having to watch it unfold silently. She is not capable of self-determination. Not so far. I head Nicholas Darrow's defense, along with a handful of rotating guards. It is not a difficult appointment. Must be boring. I am not searching for excitement. Her many eyes look away, focusing on piles of documents scattered across the tower. I have nothing else to do. I mean, yeah, when you live so long and you've kind of from the beginning always just been giving orders, you've lived longer than I have and longer than a lot of people that I know have, but you're still kind of lost and aimless because you've never had the opportunity to think and make your own decisions. You're looking for meaning. Meaning. She looks back at you. Call it what you will. I am here for now. Why not go back to the Golden Horde? Do you believe them to be better? No. I thought they were all, no, of course not, but I figured an angel would think they are. I don't really even agree with this. Shrug feels like I'm just brushing it off. No, of course not, but I figured an angel would think they are. Like, that's just wrong because, yeah, a single group of people's, you know, they're not an amalgam that all think the same thing. I thought they were all hard brutes is wrong because no, I did not think that. There's obviously going to be exemptions to anyone. No, of course not, but I figured an angel would think they are. The Horde consumes and subjugates. At times they fractionalize, splintering into deadly warbands. Usually by some divine mandate or plot, rather than similar motives to the civil wars of mortals. Her telepathic voice changes to an octave lower than before. I was a cog, inside. I could not see the contraption. Outside, it is clear. They are a machine, built for a divine incursion, one ended millennia past. You don't want to be a cog of their war machine. This city is not a machine. It is a living, breathing thing, one that may dance or sing or run off a cliff. There's something good about that. Prefers the Earth-Folkian way of life. She prefers the chaos. Like, yeah, angels have lived so long, they've got it figured out. They've got slaughter and subjugation and everything figured out. And she's like, I want to go somewhere where, you know, stuff is not as set in stone and it has to be this way. She wants a little bit of freedom. Who would not? Norvik is the greatest city of the coast. Or on the coast. This feels like a little rude to ask, but... No. Too bad, smirk. Oh. Celestial creatures are amorphous spirits, built upon the energies of the positive. We shape in time, we form by purpose. Some of us fast, some of us slow. Some by physical means, some by spiritual. Celestials are even more diverse than their opposing devilish cousins. From unicorns to coatls, from mighty Empyreans to cherubs of old Dimenor. Well, I think you're pretty, at least. That feels weird. Cool, cool. Spiritual and physical both. Thanks for the info. Not that she provided anything new or interesting. She's silent for a moment, then she gives you another calm nod. Well, I didn't want to just... You know, God. You have not inquired about assistance. Assistance? The tea shop. Oh, right, I forgot. Ah, right, the job. Can't go forgetting about the job. She descends slightly, can almost look at her without bending your neck all the way back. This incident is to be investigated entirely of your own accord, cleric. I will not interfere. However, my duties include keeping watch over the ruins, Miasto Liuvben, the city below. Are you entering the lower parts of Norvik? I've entered the dungeons below, yes. Good. If I find the time, I will assist you, cleric, in the Undercoast path. Her voice betrays a certain feeling, deep within that radiant heart. There has been interest in dealing with the dangers entering through that trail. It shall be dealt with once and for all. Glorious! Dangers? She stares at you with many eyes. Kind of dangers. Monsters. Even when explaining things she may feel are obvious, she has an immense amount of patience. She continues, enemies of the state, the type that festers. They are many. You will need to be wary. I will meet you there. Angel will surely help out a lot. At this rate, you'll have a full party in no time. You will be a good support. You have a goddess on your side. That's kind of you. I really need the help. I assume so. Lunt, you like that, even if it hurts. The angel returns to her work. Airtear will now join you in the Undercoast path as long as you do not go down there solo. Cool. Have a good day. Awesome. So, yeah, now I have multiple party members. Okay, well that's useful. You can't... I was kind of hoping where that was going was you were going to help me get into the tea shop. But, no, unfortunately that is not the option. So, I need to go grab... Snell. But then I also want to go to Waterlane really quickly. Because... Oh wait, there's also that merchant. I also want to go there because, God, words. Words, I'm doing them. I'm doing the words, believe me. I need to go see if Vera's in the office this early. But first, let's talk to you. Like to browse your wares. Or, oh, what are you voting? I haven't asked that you yet. Nice tint. Thank you, it's an old rag and a stick. Priceless. Looks very useful in a day like this. Yes, hence priceless. What are you voting in the election? I heard there was an election ongoing. I am lucky to have arrived at such an exciting time. So what are you voting? Only just arrived. Now I have visited Norvik a few times before, but not believe that constitutes me for receiving voting rights, does it? What if you did? What would you vote? I vote for the Asgalists, I think. Admire the spirit of cooperation I've seen between human and dwarf. Sometimes I wish more people in my homeland shared the same values. I'll be sure to spread Asgalism far and wide once we win this election. I like the sound of that. I like to browse your wares. Great. What can I interest you in? She pulls out a yellowed scroll. Comprehend languages. So... Give me that helmet. Empty a fruity bottle. I like that. I need that spell of comprehend languages. I would assume so. It's such a great price. Apologize if the handwriting is a bit rough. I got it from a gnomish gentleman in Vorgini. A pixie dusting field of a man. Alright, cool. Thank you. I don't think I want to hand you the thing. I don't really want to hand anybody the thing, but, you know, sometimes you gotta... Wait, why is this knocked over? Was this knocked over before? Oh, a dream patch. It's mine now. Don't mind me. Okay, let's get back down here and grab our little friend. Snell, I have need of your assistance. Boom. All right. Spellbook, so I can set that, and I probably should. At some point. Yeah, I probably should. Hey Snell. How you doing?
Huh?
Morning, cleric. Goblin rubs his eyes. Ready to head out? Usually head out about this time, so yeah, I'm ready. Snell's joined the party, yay! Okay, so where did this go? Central toll stop. Yeah, let's go there. Okay. Oh, hey, it's you again. Hey. Fuck off. Okay. Bye. That's all I need to hear. Dormitory out of commission. Get me up there, please. Thank you. Where does this go? Water lane. Yes. This is where I want to be. Alright, Vera, please don't be in the office. Please don't be in the office. Also, my book might be done. That was another reason to come over here. Alright. Trading company. Damn it, she's always here. Holy hell. Who in the 9? Okay, one second. I'm just... There's some shit going on here. Wow. Alright. Open at sundown. Damn it. Oh, because owl. That makes sense. Okay, let's, hello. How lovely of you to join us, cleric. The orc nods towards the shining beacon of a guest floating in front of the fireplace. You should speak with him. Okay, leave. Alright, behold... Wisdom. I mean, my wisdom is already pretty high. Could be higher with Hex Weekly, though. And my flower crown? Advantage against plant-based individuals. Alright. Let's behold. Come on, everything. Wow. Wow. Ambassador Ivcx Liuvben? Okay, well that was fantastic. Really glad I did that. Put that on. Put my just straight up strength boosting thing on. Alright. Entering the AR trading company greets you with a blinding sight. Celestial being wrought in radiant light. Ah, cleric. Arriving exactly when I need you. This is the ambassador of the Golden Horde. Light reaches out to you as a voice forms in your mind. Do not fear the light. Ours do not disalign. You are safe. Your stomach yells. Greetings, Celestial. The light flutters. Snell stands behind you, clearly uncomfortable. Careful, cleric. Yeah, I wasn't very friendly, was I? Beside the light stands a woman draped in red. Lady Kamar, Mountain Lamb. Light reaches towards her. She bows her head to it. Yes, Ambassador. She begins to leave for the door, but on the way she throws you a stern glance. Watch yourself, cleric, for the light watches you. I mean, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna sit here and suck up to you. As the ambassador's servant leaves, Vera lifts her chin, squinting. So, I've been talking about some new projects on Waterlane. Mentioned how you helped getting the AFAs out to local entrepreneurs, and they... We know who you are, Roggen and Snell. Voice interrupts Vera, who immediately goes silent. Goblin jolts at the mention of his name in his mind. He dares not look at the light. That's scary. Nudge Snell. See? We're famous. Bester's light then turns to your companion. A goblin in service of the dragon of Tolstad. You tread a clean path. You led the front during the Ice Bay Point operation. You stabilized the HWBT City Below expansion project on your first year of service. A goblin going against the grain to get results. You have been noticed. Look at Snell. Snell attempts to glare at the light. He is sweating. Snell is nervous. You feel bad for him. Stand up to the light, goblin. Do not falter. Thanks for noticing. Light grows closer to you. You are special, Roggen. An exception. The Horde places attention on exceptions. That is what we do. I'm just gonna squint. You are the only registered cleric in the city who is not listed in the party of Norvik. A bureaucratic mess! You have a history of political violence. You have an innate talent for the esoteric arts. That was a false report. You did not enact any violence. The violence was enacted upon you by an Earthguard soldier. You didn't even throw any rocks! Plus that was years ago. Why is the Celestial bringing this up? You have shown support of Reedsian ideologues in public writing, multiple times. That was a mistake, a stumble into the dark side of politics. You've paid for it dearly. You are an anomaly, Rogan. What you have done here with Agent Vera shows more proof of that. Stop looking to me. I don't like you Golden Horde people. Why are you paying attention to me? It is what we do. The Golden Horde wishes to extend a bond of service to you. You and Snell. A bond? Mutters behind you. Your bond is to the city, nothing else. What do I get in return? A fair question, Rogan. The Golden Horde offers many opportunities for outside contractors. Addressed through the Ascani Reeds Trading Company, we would be very interested in building this potential relationship. This means for you, well-paid positions of power, political ambitions, monetary security. In return, this means monthly communications with agents, occasional alternate goals as ordained by us, and eventually joining the Golden Horde's outreach program. Safety under the wing of the Horde. This would be signing your soul away to a foreign power. If calculated, it could prove useful, but in the long term it seems foolish. Celestial wants to use you. They view you as sheep, nothing else. Yeah, our trading co would of course cooperate on such a deal, if you were interested, Cleric. We have deep ties with the Golden Horde, as you can imagine. Is this offer something you would be interested in, Rogan? Honestly, it would probably help me get into the tea shop and would help for some other things. Potentially, yes, sign me up. No, never. Honestly, I'm just gonna hit you with the no, never. Legitimately, I don't see a reason for me wanting to side with you, especially all of the incredibly messed up things you're doing to like the halflings and all of the other stuff with the Golden Lion. No, absolutely not. Nothing about this has to happen right away. His response has been recorded. That is what we needed. Since he is not interested, we shall not be in contact. And while we are here, the offer is also offered to Snell. What is your interest in this deal? I can consider it. Your consideration has also been recorded. Look at Snell. He shrugs. Thank you. Now to move on. Several AEFAs have been signed on Tolstad. That is good work, Agent Vera. I mean, I just gave them to Viskin and, like, Rixpeter, who already had one anyway, so I completed this quest without, like, actually doing that much. Like, I didn't give it to anyone I didn't want to. Capital Dominion updated. Oh, like I mentioned, the cleric's effort was integral to the success, and will continue in the coming days post-election. That is satisfactory. I mean, I was doing this because I was hoping you would let me in the warehouse. Not so many were positive about this AEFA business. They'll come around. They always do. As to the content of these contracts, I have been informed of some changes. Changes? Stance changes. She did not like that. Uh-oh. What changes? Currently, the Accord has a big incentive for Reedsian investors. We wish to expand that to include some of the Golden Horde. Believe we spoke about this at the... This AEFA also includes several loopholes and problematic elements that could interfere with the Golden Horde's current and future blockades. The Clanlands. Yes, among others. Local businesses are able to trade freely via land as well as sea to regions and states the Golden Horde deems sanctioned. In both more serious cases as the Clanland conflict, as well as lesser situations of targeted tariffs, then we cannot move forward. This issue has been brought forth already with your owners. Expect several errata in the near future. Been good to see those comments before the election, as discussed. Plus expires. Oh shit. I apologize for the tardiness, but I assure you, this issue is entirely the fault of the Ascani Reeds Trading Company. God, they're so up their own ass. You. The rage. She clenches her jaw as she stares at him. Agent Vera, this is above you. Above her rank, in the clouds, with the angels. She clears her throat and straightens her outfit. Of course, Ambassador. Thank you for the heads up. Her entire being is restrained rage. See, Vera, this is why you can't work with the Free Striders, because they will just capitulate to these people because all they care about is money. Light turns back to you. The Golden Horde is very interested in seeing economic prosperity in your city, Roggen. They can use us as slave labor. They want control. Javira nods, looking like she's going to explode. The first step towards that is handling the clanlands. For far too long, Norvik has ignored its halfling war criminal populace. Oh, God. You're doing the whole war criminal thing and saying they're like criminals and they're here to do... Ugh. I ask you, Roggen, as cleric of this city, do you believe the humans will choose prosperity over the propaganda of the clanlands? Vera says nothing but throws you a glance. Her anger now fades, replaced by another expression. Her eyes telling you this guy's a monster, be careful. Closest neighbors. You know what? Honestly, screw you. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm sorry to everyone else in this room for the problems that this may cause. I have a weak hold on life. You can't threaten me with death. I will still talk my shit. City does not involve itself in foreign conflicts. We will simply seek prosperity and avoid propaganda. No. They're our closest neighbors. The Earthfolk will always stand by the clanlands. I mean, I can say, oh gods, what should I say? Let's get everyone's opinion. Careful now. If you antagonize this guy, you've got a whole new mess to deal with. Maybe just stay neutral. Nah. Fuck that. I mean, I'm only one person. I could just lie to you to play the game, but I've been going this try to do what's right route, and this is absolutely 100% going to bite me in the ass because I have to be able to put my money where my mouth is. And all I can really hope is that this works out for me in the end, due to some godlike roll or some crazy stats that I have or something, or I just get lucky. But I'm sticking to my guns on this, so I'm not going to cower in front of you. They are our closest neighbors. The Earthfolk will always stand by the clanlands. For now. Ominous. The light perceives you. The golden line is set. Okay. Yeah, fuck you. Halflings have shown themselves unable to accept this fact. We set the line to protect them, to create a lasting peace. Since they refuse to comply with our reasonable demands, I hope you understand. Our most peaceful method of handling their terrorism is through sanctions. Light turns back to Vera. Yeah, you're sitting here talking about their propaganda, meanwhile you're spouting this stupid shit, Sauron? Agent Vera, you have been a valuable asset for many years, yet I sense frustration in you. That is not acceptable. God, I know you're a Celestial. These are the kinds of characters that I just want to punch in the face with my strength stat. The ones that think they're too strong to be touched. They're untouchable. She glares at the light. You will make certain the Ascani Reach Trading Company fully complies with the AEFA erratum. It is a matter of Golden Horde security. It is not negotiable. It will be your highest priority as of now. Vera looks defeated. The orc is beaten. Horrific. The Celestial wields enormous power in those words of his. Both the Free Striders and this monster can go fall through every hell in the book. So precise in those words, you have no chance here. It's challenging. Snell played it safe, you defended the clanlands. Tell spell ends you gain proficiency in all ability scores, and those ability scores you already have proficiency in, you gain double. 1d4 to all ability checks. I need to enhance my ability. Under the effect of enhanced ability. Okay, so there's a chance. It's challenging, but catch you in the contradiction? Fuck. I tried. golden line. The Horde and its invasion. You know he's bullshitting you on some level. But about what? Stare at the Ambassador's light. No, 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 no. No way you'll get it in time. You've been staring at him for like 3 seconds. You gotta say something. Anything. What should I say? Let's be nice, calm, normal. I should solve it in a somewhat peaceful manner. No. You should tell them both to leave you alone. Celestial's a monster. You do not owe them anything. Fuck the Free Striders. Fuck the Golden Horde. I despise you both. Yell and break your ties with the Free Striders. Yes! Okay, I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You should do the same, Vera. No. Fuck the Free Striders. Fuck the Golden Horde. I despise you both. The light intensifies. Cleric, you speak from the heart. Fascinating. We will, however, not be interested in working with you going forward. Good! Fuck you! Genvira, I question your judgment here as well. I assume you understand this. Yes, Ambassador, she grunts, her jaw clenched and eyes locked at you. Well, look, it's not my fault you got into a position where you're under this stupid jackass's thumb. You know? Stand up for yourself, Vera. I understand you've got a lot of shit over you and a lot of people you could piss off by being an asshole to this person, but come on, even you're pissed. Stand up for yourself, girly. Fire and brimstone. I apologize for this. Bastard begins to float towards the door. We'll leave you now. Thank you for your time. Can't wait till your light bulb goes out. Radiant light being opens the door via some type of telekinesis and floats out into the streets of Waterlane. Vera stands up, walking over to the fireplace, leaning against the brickwork. God. Thought you would have a bit more tact. I'm not sorry. Obviously. She slams her clenched fist into the wall. Not so hard as to cause any self-harm, but hard enough to make a sound. An act of frustration. Please leave, Cleric. Now. Maybe I should. You know, I don't care. Like, yeah, did I cause issues for you? Yes. But has my character ever given you the impression that they're going to be using tact in any situation at all? If anything, I'm just leading into my character even more. Like, of course I'm not going to use tact. Especially not with assholes. The whole point in me putting points into the stats that I did was so that I could tell them to fuck off. It sucks that I didn't have the dex to catch you in the lie there. I could have put some things on, like my sallet, to make that a little bit easier, but you never know what things you're going to need. Like, in my head, I was like, oh, might want high strength, because maybe you need high strength or constitution to, like, stare down the light, you know, while they're staring at you as, like, an act of defiance or something. That didn't end up being the case, but that's fine. I've completely broken all ties with the trading company, but quite frankly, I don't even care about that. So that's totally fine with me. And we finish this. Capital Dominion, take root. And so here we are. At the end of a long line of divine tyrants and feudal lords. Feels like being at the end of history itself. Taking a dive off a chasm into a chasm of hope. That's liberalism, baby! The end of a long line of divine tyrants feels like being at the end of history, taking a dive into the chasm of hope. I'm not a fan, I love it, I have no opinions. What is liberalism, anyhow? Bunch of stuff. Personal freedom, the right to climb the ladder, free trade is part of it. Letting people in the companies they own spread their economic roots without big government stomping on them? Yeah, no, yeah. Then you got democracy, which is like the most liberal thing out of them all. Mainly because it allows people to actually pick and choose their leadership, instead of it being determined by gods, spells, and steel, as is the historical precedent. I mean, you're basically talking about libertarian shit. Currently. I mean, I like democracy is fine. Democracy is good when it actually works. But I would really rather a different system. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Yeah, say that as much as you want. You're still living in a free strider world. None of your thoughts have any real impact on the city. Unless you get back to riding, of course. Riding? Why would I ever perform such a degenerate act? True. So we're just turning free strider no matter what? Basically. Free striderism's the future, and much is clear. What you saw happened in that fancy guest room between Vera and her glowing guests, that's going to be the main conflict going forward. Not some scuffle with Asgal youth students or rigid theocratic bureaucrats grasping to hold on to their mansions. Yeah, you're just saying we're eventually just going to be dealing with an oligarchy and there's nothing we can do about it. I think that's doomer shit, and I don't think that's true at all. Nah, future obstacles are out there. As free striderism creeps across the coast, there will be a lot more powers ready to meet it, both head on, but also in more sinister ways. As shown by the Golden Horde, they're clearly trying to co-opt the whole thing. No! The Golden Horde is a scourge upon the coast. They should not be affiliated with free striderism at all. Golden Horde is a scourge. Look, in an ideal world, yeah, that'd be swell. Reeds is in a precarious position, believe it or not. It's all too busy. It'd be all too easy for the liberal, wondrous dream to collapse in on itself. With enemies on all sides, within and without, you need to band together with your fellow free striders and fight back. Or if that doesn't work, grab what you can while the grabbing's good, then jump out the window in a blaze of glory. It does sound like it could collapse at any second. Am I doing this for me or for the liberal ideal? No, that does sound like it could collapse at any second. And somehow, over these past 50-something years of crazy radical free striderism, that just hasn't happened. Remember how free striderism was born, right? Let's go over it again. It all goes back to the Arcanists, as everything tends to do. Most of their states were essentially built upon their aristocratic structures. Feudal states turned magicratic. Wizards need esoteric educations, right? Who can afford such an education? Noblemen, that's who. It's all economics, all the way to the top. Yep. Wizards need esoteric educations, but only the rich can afford them. All the biggest Arcanist houses were all former nobles. I see magical talent can't be bought. Magical talent can't be bought, but magical schooling can. Magical talent can't be bought. Of course not, but it can only be accumulated via learning. They spent the early Arcane era building up their power. House Prax, House Hagenshags, House Diminori, all led by men descending from long lines of royals. We even got a theocracy with the Shadow Lord, turning into another magocracy in the end. With all that magical might, despite reaching the pinnacle of esoteric knowledge toward the 2nd century of their era, they weren't shit before the industrialists. Oh? Don't get me wrong, magic's real neat. Cutting mountains in half, flipping them over, building cities on them, awesome. Infinite food, convenient. But you can only get so far with a top-down structure. Elaborate. Imagine you got 20 people working under you. You assign them tasks to, I don't know, transport your magically created bread to 1,000 hungry mouths around the city. You alone could probably organize that. 20 people ain't that much. But what if it wasn't 20 people feeding 1,000 people? What if it was 5,000 people making sure 100,000 people got fed their daily piece of fake bread? Easy one-word middle managers. I'd still be able to do that. That's a lot of people. Imagine you got 20 people working under you. Assign them tasks to, I don't know, transport to 1,000 hungry mouths. You alone could probably organize that. 20 people ain't that much. 20 people... Wasn't 20 people feeding. What if it was 5,000 people making sure 100,000 people got fed? I'd still be able to do that. I mean, that is a big ask. That's a lot of people. The average Arcane Era city had a hell of a lot more. Point is, even the smartest, most glorious, super genius wizard god king will eventually be spread thin. The crazy scale of modern society, and especially with infinite food, you can bet your ass that people start breeding like giant rabbits. The Arcanists just couldn't keep up. Fine Era kingdoms never reached those levels, even when the walking gods at the helm, so the Arcanists did what they had to. I mean, this is, yeah, obvious, because, yeah, this is a problem with, like, big empires. It's like a big, huge empire, like the Mongolian Empire or the Holy Roman Empire, can't just be led by one person in one place, because they can't actually, you know, look at, you know, the problems of all of their people. They embraced the Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution, a period of rapid technological, esoteric, and social change that began in Old Dominor between 270 and 340 AE, marked the shift from agrarian, magic-based, and handcrafted economies to industrialized and mechanized production. This transformation revolutionized manufacturing, transportation, and urban life, laying the foundation for the modern industrial world. The old aristocrats still held most of the power, but they got dragged kicking and screaming into a world where anyone could become a wizard. More importantly, those nobodies could also become stinking rich. Yeah, but they still tried to sell people on that, when in reality, most of the time, you still need to be from one of those old aristocratic families. You need to be born with wealth to actually get to that point. The idea that you can just come up from nothing it's so incredibly rare that it's a pipe dream that they're selling people on constantly. They say stuff like, oh, Bill Gates did this. Like, Bill Gates dropped out of college. He still had money. They're still starting, like, way closer to the finish line than everyone else. You're sitting here talking about, oh, anybody can do it. But it's like, no, there's still other people with way more distinct advantages that are probably going to get up to the top, and then they're going to try and stifle anyone else's ability to get to the top. Once they make it up there, they want to keep their power. They don't want to cede it to other people. That's why billionaires are clutching their billions that they'll never be able to spend in their entire lifetime instead of just helping other people. That's how you get the Necropolis manufactories, the ocean trade network, basically the entire built-in-a-factory way of life we enjoy today. The Industrial Revolution began in Old Dimenor? Nah, technically there's been mechanical industries on Jor since the Gate War. That's how the orcs managed to join in against the eldritch aberrations and divine beings. But our modern revolution sprouted when those same orcs rediscovered their roots. Blood City Bay used to be a scattered collection of states. In the Divine Era, the warlords turned it into the thing we know today, which includes a shit ton of industry. Doesn't that just lead to magocracy led by those with money? Yeah. Sure, as long as money flows towards merit, and you have a fair game going. No, you fucking don't! Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is really like speaking with someone that has these opinions. Ah, yeah, trickle-down economics, yeah. No! Guess what? They don't want their economics to trickle down. They, in fact, put in policies and lobby for things that make it so that doesn't happen. It doesn't even work anyway. Infinite food sounds lovely. We should go back to that. You'd think that, but here's the deal. The second we entered into somewhat modernized agriculture, food scarcity stopped being a production issue. It became, and remains, entirely an issue of logistics. You got so much damn food being made, and the only problem is getting it to the mouths of the people. Magical food then becomes like rotten waterfall. Bread is free, then the people growing the wheat can't get paid as much. Thus, eventually they'll stop growing it. Who gets most impacted when food production disappears in the economy? The working class. On top of that, if the food supply becomes entirely centralized with spellcasters, then food production gets inverted from the natural method. Instead of food being created rurally and moved into urban areas, instead food has to be moved from cities to smaller communities. And once again, you'll also get the problem of top-down governing. By centralizing food production into the hands of extremely powerful wizards, or maybe a few thousand at the peak of certain city-states, even the most minor mistake can cause widespread famines. I mean, yeah, if bread is free, then the people growing the wheat can't get paid as much, thus eventually they'll stop growing it. So yeah, have like a universal, just basic income that people can just live on. It's not hard. It's not hard. Bread is free, then the people growing the wheat can't get paid as much. I mean, yeah, if you just fill the market with free bread that could just, you know, fix everything for everyone, it's like, yeah, that's going to be an issue. But you could also target just things like corporate waste and stuff. Like the amount of corporations and companies that just throw product away at the end of the day because they're like, well, we're going to throw it away because if we just give it to people that need it, then that's a lost sale. It's like the people that need it weren't going to buy your fucking old bread anyway. It's the stupidest, like, logic. But okay, you're saying putting the generation of all food for the needy into the hands of a few centralized people, like, yeah, I can see how that would be an issue. But I'm sure there's ways you could optimize it. Centralizing food production, yeah, and that causes the most minor mistake can cause widespread famines. So have things in place to help with that. Pay the farmers, you know, to actually still produce the other food in case something goes wrong with the other. You know, like you can still do these things. You can still pay people to do these things as like a fallback. Or I'm sure there would be people that were like, you know, I'm sure there'd be a market for people that are like, I want organic food. I don't want magically created food. There's probably a market for that. Think about that. Which is why every single city-state that attempted this free food method failed. Any that tried in the future will fail too. Large enough systems require decentralization and economic liberalism to even function, at least in the long term. Liberalism is thus inevitable in a modern world. Even the most illiberal states today use parts of Free Strider theorem to rule. Even esoteric autocracies like the Golden Horde or oligarchies, like Blood City Bay. Bet your ass they're all hopping on the free trade wagon, even if they're desperate to hold on onto their outdated regimes. Continue listening. Right, the birth of Free Striderism. So early Arcane Era. There was a period when national borders didn't really exist yet. It was more of a pseudo-feudal thing going on. Royalty owned in land and the serfs on it, not so much folk belonging to nation-states as we see today. But those early magic rats still wanted to centralize control, so they pushed to drive everyone into their cities. In that century of industrialization, literally millions of humans moved from scattered rural towns into one of the capitals of Old Dimenor. Hells, they had humans from all around the coast moving. We're talking entire civilizations uprooted just to go live in a modern world of the Arcanist. To work in factories, to have cheap glowstones and running water, live in peace, yeah, but also have actual personal freedoms. People could move between city-states for the most part. A man could rise above his station and make something out of himself. Even if the top gigs were all being held by those in power, there's a reason we don't call it magic feudalism or whatever. Most Arcanist states actually have a fair bit of liberalism growing. Even today, we still live and die by the city-state format the Arcanist set in stone. But then, it all went to shit. Obviously, this is an abridged version, but when the Coast War broke out at the end of the 300s, skip forward a few decades, suddenly you have to have documentation wherever you go. Citizenship becomes a curse, or a blessing, depending on which you had, and when. Like, most people just think about the Coast War as this huge apocalyptic event where 90% of people died. Or humans. But that didn't really happen until the real fighting in the 470s. It was 6 decades of paranoia, escalating tensions, local conflicts, proxy wars, mago-industrial madness, the TSA... Market didn't go to war. The invisible hand of the free market would have preferred to live in peace. Oh god, there's the invisible hand. I'm sure the war was very profitable for those industrialists. Free trade. The Free Striders made that declaration as a response to this period of isolationism, I assume. I'm sure the war was very profitable for those industrialists. That's an Asgless talking point. Sure, lots of money to be made crafting war machines, armor, weapons, but what happens when you run out of poor fools to wear them? What happens when the factories go empty? And even worse, what happens when those powerful Arcanists begin seizing the means of production to fuel their war machines even further? I mean, lots of money to be made crafting, yeah, but what happens when you run out of the poor fools to wear them? What happens when the factories go empty? The rich and well-to-do don't actually care about that. Like, we're seeing that in current day. Like, they don't care. They have their golden parachute. They have enough money to just live out the rest of their life in pretty much happiness. And they clearly just don't care what happens to, like, the planet and people in general. This is why the ultra-rich are building, like, stupid compounds and stuff, or getting super yachts that they can just live on for the rest of their lives happily. They don't give a shit. There's no profit to be found when Mr. Wizard comes to take your factory. Slowly at first, and then quickly, the Arcanists stopped everyone from moving about. Cities that focused on necromancy even ran out of bodies to animate. Could you imagine? The entire system let these fucking Arcanists sit on their thrones and the hard-working capitalists that helped them build it. All of it gone. Some people say it was weakening magic that threw down those idiots. Ask the people who saw it in Reeds, the one who survived, and they'll tell you. The Arcanists lost because they assumed they alone were responsible for the greatness of Old Dimenor. When in reality, it was all capitalism, baby! That's how Free Striderism was born. Yeah, in 481 AD, you got the fall of Thazin and the final nail in the almost figurative coffin. Within a year, the ruins were covered in gold-yellow flags. Those heroic and oppressed industrialists had rallied the people to fight for universal suffrage. The rest is living history. That sounds like lovely embellishment. They exchanged one set of corrupt leaders for another. Yep. Comparing capitalists to Arcanists is like comparing a hot stove to a fireball. I mean, I don't know, just because they tried to pull the wool over their eyes and act like they're not actively fucking you over doesn't mean they aren't. I mean, I don't know everything about what was going on with the Arcanists, but yes, capitalists do the exact same things and come to a lot of the same conclusions. They just try to make you feel better about it and rationalize it to themselves. Like... They're still trying to starve people and stuff. They're still throwing food that's perfectly fine and could go to people that need it away just because, well, that might be a lost sale for us. They're just trying to be like, well, we're still being good about it, though. And we're giving everyone a fair chance. One can be mishandled, sure. The other will leave you third-degree burns all over your body. It's like, not even comparable. Just cook a nice meal and shut up. Point is, the invisible hand of the free market is guiding us, and it'll keep guiding us towards a world that's a hell of a lot more liberal and a hell of a lot more prosperous. So as long as you avoid falling into some Azalus propaganda hole again. You. This tale you have heard so many times, a modern myth as the old keep being stripped away. Freestriderism, an unstoppable force charging across the coast. You must arm yourself against the storm, quickly, before you are crushed between the waves. Look, let's be real here. There are 100 different ideologies with 1,000 different interpretations and branches. Out of all of them, Reedsian Freestriderism is probably the most powerful at the moment. You shouldn't throw all your eggs in the proverbial bag of holding, but it certainly won't hurt to move a bit closer underneath that yellow banner. So if you've got all these forces pushing you in all kinds of directions, maybe try being a bit of an immovable object. One that's sitting squarely in the good graces of your new Reedsian overlords. Seriously, if even the apolitical boogeyman can agree to lead in Freestrider, you really can't go wrong, can you? Yeah, Charisma being the apolitical one is very funny. Tell me more about Unstoppable Force. Bear arms, fight against the forces of the world until the end of time itself. Alters ability score modifiers on weapons. Positive modifiers get +1 and negative modifiers get -1. That's interesting. Tell me about Invisible Hand. Everything is yours. You just gotta reach out and grab. Advantage on all trifle checks. Movable object. Convenient cooperation with no real downsides to it. Let those free strider impulses guide your purchasing decisions. Your dexterity modifier also adds to your haggle discount in shop, stacking with charisma. Nah, Unstoppable Force. Yeah, you do that. Remember to think like a capitalist, which means choose whatever works best for you. Yeah, that'd be Unstoppable Force. Stand tall against the Eastern Torrent. You'll need it. Stop thinking about Freestriderism. So that might actually be helpful, because this would become a +2 hammer. This would become +2 strength, -1 wisdom. Like, I do actually like that. Journal. Questing. So... currently, friendly local druid. Extra proficiency in rolls when in natural habitats, outside areas, overgrown areas, and caverns. Speaking with feminine characters. Advantage on death saving throws. Whenever you take damage, on step 3, a thesis on that. If the damage you took is higher than the thesis die. On step 3, the damage you take is lower. This is synthesis somehow. The next time you take damage, return to step 1. Like, I do like the idea of just being able to survive big hits. I feel like if I was going to replace anything, friendly local druid would be it. Just because I think the weapon thing is a little bit more effective than this, because this is only in some areas, but I can set up the weapon thing to be beneficial no matter what. So, I think I drop friendly local druid. Maybe I bring it back at a different point. But, I think we drop friendly local druid. Forgo. You can add it back after resting. Yeah. So, I want Unstoppable Force. Good. So now, my weapon is +2. And this would be +2. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Because it helps me lean more into the stats that I need in any particular moment. So, yeah, that's a good. Okay, that was a longer episode than I intended. But, yeah. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time for some more.